What happens when you forget to make ADRs at Disney's Hollywood Studios? Well, there's a few options, and we're going to tell you the best one right now. Look, we've all been there. We've been in a situation where we are heading to Hollywood Studios, and you know what? We're not really up for the dining options there, but there's a good possibility that you're missing one or two options you haven't even thought about for an actual meal. That's right, we're talking lounges. Of course, everyone knows about Oga's and how awesome of a place it is to go to grab some drinks, but those reservations are harder to get than Cinderella's Royal Table on the 4th of July. For real. We have another video on that. We'll talk about it later. But look, there are two other lounges that you can go to that have absolutely fantastic dining options. First, being Baseline Tap House. What? Secondly, our personal favorite, heading on over to the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. Let's talk Baseline first. Baseline is located just outside of Galaxy's Edge as you're walking down what used to be the streets of America, but it's not anymore. The place's claim to fame is obviously their tap list. It's a lot of California-inspired beers. It's a pretty solid selection. But what you're missing are the three menu items that aren't just good snacks, they could actually be a meal, and they're pretty solid and for a fantastic value. First things first, this place has the best, I said it, the best pretzel on property. The Bavarian pretzel's $9.50 comes with beer cheese and spicy mustard, not the cheap plastic cheese. Real beer cheese. It's fantastic. Frankly, our son Dawson loves this thing. It's one of the main reasons we go there. The second option is actually the charcuterie plate, which for $12.50 is literally the best value in this appetizer category, if you will, on property. There are places that you can go and grab a charcuterie plate where it's going to run you upwards of $18, $20, $25. This is, of that caliber, half the cost, and no one knows it's there. The third option is the coffee rubbed ribeye beef puff. It's okay. It's nothing to write home about, but for $11, it's actually, again, a pretty good value for what you're getting. And then, of course, on top of that, the beer nerd in me wants to go there and see what they have on tap. Unfortunately, they haven't changed the tap list since its inception in 1947. It might not be 1947, but they haven't changed it at all. They have some reasonable beers on there, and they're actually not outrageously priced either. You can get a 22 ounce for about $11, which is the going rate at Disney, or frankly anywhere these days. But be sure 100% to go check this place out and make Baseline one of your stops every time you're at Hollywood Studios, not just for the beer, but for the food. Now we're going to go from Barstool to Bougie by crossing the park to Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. Now for real, if you've been following us, this channel, Brandy and I, for any amount of time, you have heard me rave, absolutely rave about this place. Heck, there's a video out there where we ate there twice in one day. I'll link it below. Go check it out. But for real, this is a perennial stop for our family. We enjoy eating at this lounge so much that it is on our itinerary at least once. We go there all the time. First of all, the cocktails are fantastic, if you're a cocktail fan. They're old school, they're classic, whatever you want to say, but the Manhattan is killer, and they do very, very well with a dirty martini. And frankly, the menu has, for a long time, been really darn good. Now, it's been through several iterations. They usually have a lounge-specific menu that has items, well, just for the lounge, but they also allow you to order off of the standard Hollywood Brown Derby menu, which is insane that you cannot get a reservation for Hollywood Brown Derby, but yet you can walk into the lounge and get the same food. Now listen, this place isn't quite the value that Baseline is, but the options are completely amazing. First of all, they just changed the menu. We're mid-2023 right now. They added several appetizers, including escargot. Why? But we'll take it. And roasted bone marrow. But really, they're pushing the entire menu from the Hollywood Brown Derby outside in the lounge. So you can get the filet, you can get the grilled pork, and you can get their famous Cobb salad. Super good. Absolutely try it. 100%. And they also have what they consider their BLT sliders, which frankly is the only thing on the lounge menu currently outside of appetizers. This is a chipotle glazed pork belly, pea shoots, tomato jam, and pickled red onions on a couple small little buns. Now, these sliders have been through a couple iterations. At first, you would get one Kobe beef slider and a duck confit slider. That was the absolute best these sliders have ever been. It was $18 at that point. They're still only $18, but you're getting the pork belly instead of the duck and the Kobe. But look, they're solid. Had them last year. I'll have them again. I'll have them when they're on the menu. But the second part of this is that it's kid-friendly. We enjoy sitting outside, which frankly is the only place you can sit, seeing how there's no inside seating, so that may be a drawback for you. But we enjoy its location in the center of Hollywood Studios, where we can people watch, take in the atmosphere, have a drink, enjoy lunch, and then get back at our day. So let's talk about favorites. I already mentioned the fact that the Cobb salad is an absolute must, and frankly, the thing's huge. You could split it between two people. They used to have a side version of the Cobb salad, which you may want to ask if they'll still honor that, but unsure, doesn't say it on the menu, but it doesn't hurt to ask. You know, it's Disney. But if you want to focus on sharing some appetizers, you definitely can. Between the sliders I already mentioned, the salad, which frankly, if you split it in half, is kind of like an appetizer, the charcuterie board, which, let's face it, at $21 might not be the best value, but it's solid. And they have other appetizer options, including this new escargot and roasted bone marrow, which frankly, why wouldn't it be on anyone's favorite list? Or you can go hot and heavy and grab a filet, grilled pork, some seafood cioppino, or a lamb shank, all of those roughly around $45 an entree. Yep, it's not a cheap date, but it's Disney, nothing's a cheap date. So if we're comparing and contrasting these two, obviously there are some big differences. First, the menu at Baseline isn't that big, so you're going there for specific stuff. As with Brown Derby Lounge, you have a lot of options, so you can probably find something for everyone in your party. The biggest difference, though, is definitely going to be the fact that there's really no dessert at Baseline. And what's Disney without dessert? The dessert at Brown Derby feature two absolutely stunning top-end options in the grapefruit cake that people absolutely love, and then the creme brulee, which frankly, who doesn't, right? They also have three other options, including a bruleed champagne sabayon, chocolate rose, and a decadent chocolate cake. For all of you chocolate lovers out there, excited. So, if we had a choice, where would we go? That's the real question. And you know what? We like both. And for our travel style, we end up going to both in some capacity. First, because Dawson loves the pretzel, we have to hit it, and I obviously enjoy the beer, so we head to Baseline at least once a trip. We go to Brown Derby for kind of the same reason, but when we want a fuller meal, not just the pretzel and a couple charcuterie plates, to be honest, to split between the four of us. So if we're looking for something specific, like the sliders and the salad, we'll head to Brown Derby. You can't miss with either, to be honest, though. So, highly recommended, 2 thumbs up from both Brandy and I. Next time you're at Hollywood Studios, be sure to swing by one of these two spots and take in the atmosphere and check these out instead of worrying yourself trying to get a last-minute ADR. For Brandy, I'm Dave. Appreciate you all hanging out. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the information that we gave you here, give this one a big thumbs up. And comment below if you've been to either Baseline or Brown Derby, not just for drinks, but for food. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.